Okay, so I'll admit it. I was a hater of the new DK design when I first saw it. And yeah, I may have texted my best friend and said that it was the biggest botched design since the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. But you know what, I was wrong. And it's a huge win for Nintendo. Although, to be fair, I saw the Mario Kart World version of him and then the Bonanza one, so I feel like I'm at least a little justified. For most of his history, Donkey Kong always fit into the cool category. He's just a big, strong gorilla. I'm sure he was the go-to for a lot of guys when they were kids, which is great. Like, I always had this made-up Donkey Kong versus Bowser rivalry in my head as a kid, because they were the big, strong guys in the games. And I'd always go out of my way to beat his ass in Smash Bros. Just to prove that point. But for Nintendo, Donkey Kong was always a property that should have been way more popular. And as much as I love his old design as a DK fan, I think it was holding him back. Like, his face could never emote that much. He really only had a few mouth movements that you could give him, same thing with his eyes. So when you tried to have him do something goofy, it kinda just made him look really dumb. Like, take this clip from Mario Baseball for example. Like, he looks at the camera and it just looks like there's nothing going on between those eyes. He feels soulless, which I mean was fine for someone like me. I loved DK. But it definitely put him squarely in a box in terms of what kind of players would love him or not. Mario Strikers Battle League came the closest in terms of making him seem more alive, but the mouth shifting from having teeth to not still looks off to me. But now you can't turn on a DK Bonanza stream without seeing the word cute either in the chat or said by the streamers non-stop. The way he expresses emotions in the game, the way his face moves, the way he interacts with Pauline, it gives him so much character and endears him a lot more to players, especially younger kids. Every time he does something dumb in the game, he's just more lovable, like he's being goofy. But when he's in action, he still keeps that same toughness that made players love him in the past. He's still an absolute powerhouse. I think he's more powerful in this game than most of his other appearances, so it really blends both aspects of the characters together really well. And having him paired with a young Pauline just adds to that. Not only can kids put themselves in Pauline's place as if it's them exploring the game with DK, but it also helps to bridge the gap between him and Nintendo's human characters more than in the past. He can more naturally interact with them in Mario Kart, Mario Party, the sports games, etc. in a way that feels more like even ground, as opposed to a human talking to an animal. Even if he can't actually communicate through language, his facial expressions tell the story, as opposed to the previous design where really his eyebrows could go up and down a little bit and his mouth could open. The new design also just allows them to be more creative. Take Super Smash Bros. For example. In the past, his skins have been pretty bland. You couldn't really change his fur color that much without it just looking weird. Like, the only one I think I ever used was the white one just because he looked like a Yeti, and even then it was rare that I ever changed skins. Overall, it felt like the old design was very static in basically every way. Couldn't really change much about it. If you put him in clothes, it would look weird. Making it have brighter colors, same thing. But not only does the new design lend itself to different color palettes and outfits, but Bonanza goes out of its way to encourage it. Like, you put on anyone's Let's Play of the game, and everyone's DK looks different. And it just works without compromising the original design. And this just opens the door to do crazy things with the character. You can transform him into a giant zebra or a flying ostrich, and players will just roll with it. The entire world of Bonanza is just like its namesake. It's bananas. And the new design fits that world perfectly. But at the same time, I think he could fit into a Donkey Kong Country game if they made one in the future. But because I make videos on YouTube, and that clearly means that I need my opinion to be validated, there are some new aspects of the design that I think they'll need to tweak in Mario games going forward. He obviously looks incredible in Bonanza. The detail, the expressions, everything. But you can definitely tell that the lower quality model in Mario Kart World leaves something to be desired. I've seen plenty of people mention why his design in that game looks a little off, from his eyes being a bit too small, to the eyebrows being too thin, having too many teeth, and the teeth being too straight. He's smiling like he's got social anxiety like I do. And I understand that his fur just isn't going to have the same texture to it that it does in Bonanza, but I do think that they could have done a bit better with it. The color also just looks so bland. So I do think if there's any concern that I have going forward, it seems like it's a bit easier to mess up this design when you have less detail than it is with the old design. Like, the old one didn't necessarily need fur texture, but the new one definitely does. But overall, this is a huge win for Nintendo. Not only does Bonanza catapult DK back into gamers' minds in a big way, but it greatly increases his marketability. More kids are going to want things with DK on it. Now that I'm thinking about it, why did they give us a Donkey Kong Land with the old design if they're just going to redesign him anyway? If you know why, please let me know in the comments, because I'm actually curious. I could just look it up, but why would I do that when I can have random people on the internet tell me that I'm dumb for not knowing? But the point is that DK's back in the spotlight where he belongs, and it happened because Nintendo was willing to take him in a bold new direction. And I hope that they continue to do that with other franchises going forward. Hope you have a great day.